Okay, we've got a drop here of 48. So we're looking for a drop of 20. Well, between 15 and 23. I like to see about 20. I'll find the return. Here's the return. And on that return, we got 66. So we're okay. It's a good drop. Here we are at the compressor. We've got good insulation on the cold pipes. Unit's been running perfectly. And it's sealed at the wall. It's going looking right. This furnace is running. A clear blue flame. All looks good in there. We have a control cable going into the cabinetry that's not protected with a grommet, so the metal can cut it. No apparent leaks from the flue. Missing a sediment trap on the gas line. Gas hob. Gas oven. It reached temperature of 343, which is good. This is the microwave, recirculating type. So, drawer opened, pumped dry, no apparent rust. This is the exterior inspection, looking at the foundation and the walls. What we're trying to establish is the condition of the foundation. Is it moving? Is there likelihood of the walls cracking? And we're going to be looking for those type of indications of structural movement. The grade on this side of the building is good. We're sloping away from the building. You can see here we've got the grade wall is exposed from 6 to 4 inches. That's all good. That's what we want to see. Now here we got a downpipe from the gutter, and you can see it's draining directly on the ground in front of the foundation itself. Really what we should have here is extensions poured out, taking the water away. Here we are at the rear elevation. We have another downpipe here. We're now at the garage elevation, still at the rear. Again, another downpipe draining right next to the foundation itself, something we don't want. Now here, as I've come across, we'll notice that looking up at the roof, my attention's drawn by this line here. There are two lines. It's called wind lift, which has actually affected the shingles, and that may mean that the roof is due for replacement. We're going to get closer to this roof a little bit later. Moving around to the rear elevation of the garage. So far there's been no evidence of structural movement in terms of cracks in the walls. That's all good. We're now at the right elevation, and we do have erosion. This is erosion along here. What is actually happening is the soil levels are dropping, and as they drop they expose more and more of the grade wall. That grade will need to be rebuilt. The erosion's also affecting the compressor for the air conditioning unit. You can see that it's slightly out of level, and that needs to be leveled. Important it's kept level, as it can damage the instrument, the machine, if it's out of level. We're looking at walls at the left-hand elevation. Getting a bit closer, you can see this erosion here. Just needs to be rebuilt. It'll help protect the foundation. Now we're at the right elevation, and we're looking at the window. You can see here we've got a bit of weather stressing around this area here, and some cracking there, weather stressing. The water's actually started to get in. It's early stages, there's no real damage to it. I can't see any wood rot, but here we've got paint peeling. It's coming off. So this needs to be repainted and sealed. A little bit of paint damage down here. Underneath looks okay, although it looks like there's been grass growing up into it. This is nice. We've got the effects of erosion here. You can see there's a hole. And you've got the drain pipe, it's running out and it's eroding the ground, and we've got a hole forming. That's what I'm talking about earlier when I said I wanted to see these types of pipes extended out. So we were talking about the drain pipe here, and that should be extended. Let's work along here. Well, now here we've got a clear out. This is for the sewer system. And we're at the windows now. Here you can see we've got a crack running here, and we've got more cracks here, and also the caulking has parted from the metal seal here, and that's going to allow water and moisture into the building. So that's something that needs to be addressed. This is general for all windows around the house. It's an ongoing maintenance. This is the dryer vent. And I can illustrate what's going on with the dryer vent. You can see inside that we've got dry material. Here it is. That is actually lint, and it's highly flammable. And the reason it's there is because of the type of vent we've got. You should never have a louvered vent on a dryer outlet. It should always be a single flap that is easy to lift. These are quite difficult for the dryer to open, and as a result lint builds up inside, and that can cause a fire In fact, 168,000 fires a year in the whole of the United States are caused by dryers. So we're now at the front right elevation. Again, downpipes need extensions here. We have a French drain here. Quite good on a zero lot line property because it does actually help the property drain. This is the portico. Any signs of movement in any building is always going to show up here. Sweep holes at the bottom, which is good. It's okay around here. Now we're at the front and we've got a window. Again, we've got problems here with the mortar. Got cracks in the mortar, cracks in the caulking. That's going to allow moisture in, especially in heavy rain conditions. Now the bushes that are here at the front, apart from being very high, I'm going to stop light coming in, they're actually touching the building all the way along here, and that's going to allow insects, termites, rodents to get on the building, onto the brickwork. You don't really want that, you want it cut back. So in this area here where we're standing, we want to see a gap of about 6 to 8 inches or maybe a foot. You can still keep the bushes but remove them. Now the other thing about bushes is they expirate gallons and gallons of water and they will affect your foundation. So the lower they are and the smaller they are, less leaves, the less likely they are to remove moisture from the ground. Just here we've got the grading. The grading is good on all elevations of the building. We have some trees here. They're not too big, don't let them get any bigger because they too can damage the foundation. Roof inspection, what we're looking for here is ventilation. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 upper roof ventilators. If we come around here, see if we've got any more here. Yeah, we have another ventilator. Now there's a problem. You've got 2 ventilators opposite each other. It's going to cause it to short circuit. And that reduces the efficiency of the ventilators. This ventilator could be taken away. It's probably, what, 2,000 square foot?
1,800.
1,800? Only needs 3 ventilators, doesn't need the 4th one. Okay. And we have soffit ventilation at the soffit. Soffit vents here. They look pretty clear. Yeah, it's quite clear, and we've got soffit ventilation around the other side. We're going to look for hail damage. Come round and I'll show you things. Here we go at the right elevation. We've still got soffit vents. Okay, so we're adequate ventilation. In fact, it's over ventilated, so it can be fixed. Well, there's no real signs of hail splatter. Well, don't think we've had any issues with hail. I'm standing at the right front elevation side elevation, we have a nail head here that's rusting, and that will allow water to penetrate in time. We have a damaged shingle up here. It looks like it's been lifted and then it's cracked, and there are some signs of mechanical impact, which I can only assume is hail, though I can't be definitive about it. And that's on the right front side elevation. We've got further signs of wind lift up the top here. We're at the right side elevation. We've got a nail head showing here. It's going to cause a leak in the future. And there is some damage, mechanical damage at the roof. But I have to say it's not a great deal, it's a small amount. We have another exposed nail head. We're at the rear elevation over the garage. Here we've got quite extensive wind lift, and still more evidence of impact damage. Still not a great deal, but there nonetheless. Okay, we're at the left elevation. More wind lift evidence here, but little evidence of impact. Up there we can see we've got some wind lift. We're at the front left side elevation. We've got mechanical damage at a number of points. Loss of grit from the shingles in a number of areas. Okay, we're at the front right. More exposed nails down there. Wind lift up here. So I recommend that this is reported to the insurance company and an assessment is made by them as to whether or not a new roof is required to ensure that the roof is insurable. That's something I cannot tell you. It can only be done by an insurance company.
We started out trying to buy a pretty nice piece of property, and then if this one works out, that's why I started looking at some rougher properties. I can rehab most of this stuff. But
this is the main water supply meter. It's here. One is where the meter is, this one where the isolation valve is, and we've got a hose bib around the corner. We're going to test. This is the water pressure. We're about 45 pounds. We need to be between 40 and 80, so it's perfect. The sewer clear outs are located at the front left elevation. They're underneath the bushes. If we come down here, you can see we've got one here, and there's another one just at the back there. That's two of them. The one nearest the road goes under the house, and the one furthest from the road goes back to the road. And that's how you clear out the sewers. We're in the attic. We have a plastic cover on the light switch here. Plastic covers shouldn't be used in attics as they are easy to break, and when they break you have exposed wires, which of course can electrocute somebody. We're following the service boards and we're making our way to the AC unit in the middle of the attic. The intention is to have a look at the structure, have a path so that later on when we come up to the air conditioner and it's running, we could see what's going on. So we're in the attic proper. Qualitize. Okay, so this pipe here looks like an extractor for the kitchen, but what I'm interested in it's got water lines down it, so there's a possible water leak on this pipe here, and I think it's in the attic, in the kitchen, the extractor. This is the flue, and we have signs of water leaking around the flue into the attic, running down the pipe itself. The pipe is loose, and so that will need to be tightened. In addition, we do not have it bonded to the grounding system, and so it's a potential lightning attractor, and that will need to be addressed. Bonding is very simple. You just run a ground cable to a grounding bar outside or to another ground near at hand, so that the lightning perceives the flue to be at the same level as the ground level, because it's grounded to it. This is the water heater flue, and you can see we've got signs of water leaks coming down through that flue there. These are probably issues of caulking and are easily remedied, but nobody thinks about doing it, so it doesn't tend to happen. This is the water heater, located in the garage. We looking for the drain line's there. Temperature pressure relief valve drain line's there. Let's see if they come outside. There we are, we've got two of them. This one is the temperature pressure relief valve, that one is the safety pan. So this is a relatively new heater, it's a sealed unit. Up here we've got the flue, and it's nice and solid, and the legs are nicely fitted in. However, what we should see here are a couple of screws into the legs and into the body of the heater to secure that flue. This is the attic hatch. It leads obviously to the attic, and the attic actually leads to the house. And the problem we got is that here we do not have a weather sill. Why do we want a weather sill? Well, because that gives us a 20-minute fire door. We have over here a fire door. This door is rated, steel covered, no rating label. But up here we've got a hinge that should be self-closing, and it's not working. It's just we're looking for cracks, starting with the doors and the windows. And this door, I noticed when I came here, is slightly touching, but I don't think that's through movement. You see the damage here. I think that's just hinge wear, because there are no cracks around it indicating movement. A place that cracks show themselves that are important are on the exterior walls. Interior walls like that chase there don't matter, but in exterior walls where you get cracks do. In the master, there's a nail pop, just seasonal movement. That's all looking good. Guest bedroom. No. No. Yep, it's all looking okay. It's an electrical panel. We have bonded ground and neutral. The terminations are good. Arc fault detectors for the bedrooms. And we have ground. Let's go and check that ground. Here's the ground, just by the meter, so all checks out well. A GFCI test, it's working. So basically what we want to see for safety reasons is that any outlet within 3 foot of a sink or water has a GFCI on it. Again, the only places you don't find them is in older properties. Everything's pretty standard now. No. Okay, we have a loose faucet handle here. As the top comes off, and there's a screw, and that screws in, that holds it in place. Hot water comes through okay. Food disposal. A food disposal, and we have a anti-siphon device, which is good. No kinks in the drain pipe. Okay, so this is an island, and as such there is no way to get air behind water near at hand, and it may require a vent valve installed just after the P-trap and before it leaves the cabinetry to the wall. Otherwise you're not going to get you could get a vacuum sucking the water from the P-trap. So that's a possibility. We'll look up in the attic, see if we can find a possible one. There are two routes to go up, these two columns here, and it may be that one of them will contain the vent. However, the vent should be within about 2 foot of the P-trap, and of course with a distance like that, 4 feet either side, it's not really quite as good as I would like to see it. Let's go back into that fun attic. Okay, let's go and look in the master, see what we can find. Now in the master, what we're doing is looking at the plumbing. We have plumbing here. To the functional flow test, we got flow from the shower and we've got all the faucets on. So we've got good functional flow. This is the commode, I just flushed it and we got air back. Okay. That's fine. When you flush a commode, if air comes up through the S-bend, then you have a problem with air behind water.
Okay.
That one, it was being drawn in by the jet effect of the tank. So it's okay. Okay, we have the water. We have a drain line to the primary drain line of the AC coming into the P-trap. Now that's fine, it's going to be cooled out because it basically is water going into a sewer line, and most times there's no problem with it at all. But if you go away on vacation and the air conditioning is not working, this P-trap here can dry out. When you come back and it's cold and you put up the heat on, then methane can get up into the furnace and that could cause an explosion. The way to solve the problem is, if you've been away for a while, you turn the tap on, that fills the P-trap and now methane can get up there. Methane dissipates very, very quickly in a normal atmosphere. It's only if it's concentrated do you get an explosion. We got, yep, that's sealed. Okay, so there's no hot water present at this bath. The problem is the valve here. Now it's a two-way valve, and what actually happens is, if the valve is not used, if the faucet is not used a lot, the hot water valve, which is the one least turned on, becomes jammed, and then you don't get any hot water off. Now, there's no hot water running here, and it should be through by now. So here's the sprite, here's the shower. Watch what happens. I'm now going to turn this to fully hot, and it goes off. So there's no hot water at this bath.